2005 NCAA Basketball Championship. From the Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama, it's the Terrapins of Maryland versus the Wildcats of Villanova.
This NCAA semifinal game between Maryland and Villanova is brought to you in part by Advanced Business Systems, Baltimore's Minolta copier dealer, and by your Greater Baltimore McDonald's family restaurants, and by ERA Real Estate. There really is a difference in real estate companies. And by Baltimore's best, B104 means music. And by the cold, refreshing taste of Coors. Coors to you.
Welcome to the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center and the Sweet 16 of the NCAA. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Larry Connolly. It's great to have you with us for the NCAA basketball tournament. We're in the Southeast region. And Larry, these teams, it's just so great to be here. It's so enjoyable to be at this tournament, especially when you get down to the Sweet 16.
Well, it really does. You know, the thing that's interesting about it is that we've got a great matchup here between the ACC and the Big East again. And so far, they're 1-1 on head-on-head competition. Duke losing to Boston College, and of course, Georgia Tech beating Syracuse last weekend.
During the regular season, Maryland and Villanova met. Maryland won by 3 points, but there were two tremendous individual performances in that game.
There really were. Ed Pinckney, who's the outstanding player at Villanova, had a great game. He had a career-high 30 points, and he happened to grab 16 rebounds in the offset. Just a little bit of rebounding on the side, too. A great afternoon for Ed Pinckney.
And Len Bias from the University of Maryland matched him almost point for point and rebound for rebound.
You want to talk about careers? This young man right there, Len Bias, had 30 points and 13 rebounds. Both of them career highs for him.
Now, both of these clubs have won tight games to get here, Larry.
They really have. And, you know, Villanova comes in here beating the #1 seed, and that was Michigan. And they beat them by 4 points in a close game. And, of course, Maryland had to go across the river. They beat Navy just across the river.
Should be a great one. Villanova and Maryland. And we'll be back with the starting lineups right after this. Gentlemen, let's pick up the starting lineups from Gary Sanders and
welcome to the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center for tonight's semifinal round of the Southeast Regional game between the Villanova Wildcats and the Maryland Terrapins. Now let's meet the starting lineups. For Villanova, at forward, a 6'7" junior from Mystic, Connecticut, number 21, Harold Presley. For Maryland, at forward, a 6'8" senior from Largo, Maryland, number 24, Adrian Branch. For Villanova, at forward, a 6'6" senior from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 33, Dwayne McLean. For Maryland, at forward, a 6'8" junior from Landover, Maryland, number 34, Len Bias. For Villanova, at center, a 6'9½" senior from the Bronx, New York, number 54, Ed Pinckney. For Maryland at center, a 6'7" freshman from Temple Hills, Maryland, number 33, Derek Lewis. For Villanova at guard, a 6'2" junior from Patterson, New Jersey, number 4, Dwight Wilbur. For Maryland at guard, a 6'5" sophomore from Grimesland, North Carolina, number 3, Keith Gatlin. For Villanova at guard, a 6' senior from Hempstead, New York, number 22, Gary McLean. For Maryland at guard, a 6'5" senior from Martinsville, Maryland, number 10, Jeff Atkins. And introducing the head coaches for Villanova, Rolly Massimino. For Maryland, Lefty Drizel.
We'll be back with the start of tonight's game from Birmingham right after this. Villanova and Maryland set to go in the Southeast Regional. Villanova comes in 21-10, Maryland 25-11. Here are the officials who will control tonight's game. And Larry, it's always very important for the players and the coaches to figure out how the officials are going to call this game.
Absolutely, particularly when you've got mixed crews from all over the country, is evidenced by this tournament. Here you see the Maryland-Villanova score back on January the 27th when the Terps won by 3.
Now in that game, of course, it was Bias and Pinckney show. Do you think we'll see more of the same tonight?
Well, I expect both clubs are going to play a little bit different maybe than they did the first time around. Maryland would like to keep it the same way, but Villanova's been playing pretty good basketball. Beating Michigan, I think that, the top-seeded team in the Southeast really is a big plus for them.
Villanova in the dark road uniforms. This is Harold Presley, number 21.
Immediately, Maryland goes to a man-to-man defense, and Villanova, not having the advantage of working the clock during the year because they had a 45-second shot clock, now takes advantage and runs some of that offense that they're famous for at half court.
Gary McLean, the quarterback of this ball club, to Dwayne McLean. Likes to penetrate over Branch. First 2 points of the ball game.
Rolly Massimino told us yesterday the key to this basketball game as far as his players were concerned was the performance of Dwayne McLean. So if he could get a good performance out of him, he could win the game.
McLean had a great game against Michigan, hitting 8 out of 12 from the floor. Jeff Atkins and Keith Gatlin open at guard for Maryland. This is Gatlin, who set a single-season assist record for the Terps.
And immediately Villanova goes to that 3-2, which kind of is disguised somewhat. It's more like a 2-1-2 because they move that middleman down inside so much.
Adrian Branch hits his first shot of the ball game. Very important for Maryland that Branch has a hot hand.
Already lefty off the bench is shouting instructions. Got two pretty animated coaches in this game.
Rolly Massimino and Lefty Drizel very successful with their respective programs. They want to get the ball to Pinckney. Instead, Dwight Wilbur with a jumper. Presley with a follow won't go. Rebounded Derek Lewis, the Maryland freshman center. This is Gatlin pushing it up. Bias, great perimeter shot as well as an inside play. And this is Jeff Atkins.
Atkins been playing very well of late, Mike. He's come on and played well in the tournament to get him into this position.
Given that good senior leadership that a club needs in this tournament. Lewis to Atkins. Remember, we're not working with the shot clock in the NCAA tournament. Branch misses this time, and the rebound goes to Gary McLean, who hustles it up court. Wilbur tries to save it and does to Dwayne McLean, and back to Gary McLean.
Gary McLean turned around to Coach Massimino, says, "Coach, it's okay. I've got everything under control."
Dwayne McLean. Pinckney has not touched the ball yet. Dwayne McLean misses his shot. Atkins with a rebound. We've gone almost 2.5 minutes, and Pinckney has not touched the basketball. It's got to go in Maryland's favor.
Well, it really does. I mean, after he had the 29 points against them earlier in the year. Now Maryland running a little bit of the half-court game and almost a steal right there by McLean.
Gatlin got it back to Bias on the baseline. Len Bias came out on the jumper, rebound to Pinckney, and he threw it away. Gatlin will come out with it. Keith Gatlin with that little semi-jump shot. The rebound goes to Villanova. The Cats on the run. Here's another steal by Atkins. Branch got it back, and the foul will go on Dwayne McLean. A little sloppy here in the opening minutes.
Villanova a little bit out of control that time. They got the basketball off of the glass, and you can see right here the pass. It's a good steal by Atkins. It looked like Pinckney had the basketball, and he tried to make the pass to the inside, and obviously the foul was by Dwayne McLean.
First foul in the ball game. Rolly Massimino looking on. He has his team in a 6th straight NCAA tournament.
Villanova coming out half-court pressure now. Maryland beats it pretty easily. Boy, look at him gang on that ball.
This is Jeff Atkins, follow-away jumper swish, and Maryland takes a 4-2 lead with 16:52 to go first half.
Now Gatlin returns the favor with a little bit of half-court pressure himself. He picks up Gary McLean at the halfway mark, and Gatlin follows him around, and Maryland stays in their man-to-man.
Presley likes to shoot from the baseline, back out to Dwight Wilbur. His jumper won't go. Atkins with another rebound.
Villanova finding it struggle here in the early going to get one to drop.
Gatlin penetrates into the lane, puts up the soft one, got it back the second time. Whistle foul, Derek Lewis. It'll be one on Derek Lewis, one on Maryland.
Pretty good position by Harold Presley right here. You'll see him on the right side of the screen. Shot by Gatlin a little bit short. Watch Presley get the position. Watch Lewis come over his back right there.
Villanova's basketball down 4-2 with 16:29 to go first half. Mike Patrick along with Larry Conley. Glad you could join us for the ball game.
I can get the feeling watching these two clubs. They're a little bit nervous, it appears.
Just a little. And you can hardly blame them either.
Yeah, they're pretty hard in the tournament experienced clubs right here, and they should be out of it.
Pinckney goes after his own rebound over the back of Lewis, and the foul will go against easy Ed Pinckney. He has fouled out of 5 ball games this year, as has Derek Lewis.
You'll see it again right here. Watch Pinckney go up, take the shot, he'll miss it. And as always happens, you get that foul of frustration. Watch him come back and try to grab it away right there from Lewis. No way, Lewis had the better position.
First foul on Ed Pinckney, second team foul against Villanova. This is Keith Gatlin for Maryland. Both clubs going with their starters so far. Only 4 minutes into the ball game, and it's a 4-2 Maryland lead.
Villanova stays with that zone defense. You see Gary McLean out front.
This is Branch out to Gatlin. They pull it out, trying to extend that zone a little bit. Branch.
Great block by Pinckney.
Dwight Wilbur on the fast break basket for Villanova, and we're tied at 4. 15:34 to go. First half from Birmingham. Adkins to Adrian Branch. Bias has not touched the ball very much for Maryland, and Pinckney not very much for Villanova. They were the stars in the regular season meeting.
Wildcats pushing that zone defense back in pretty tight. When it goes inside, they surround the ball. They'll put 2 or 3 people on the ball once it hits that paint area or the baseline.
Maryland being very patient with its offense right now, and the sophomore point guard Gatlin calling out instructions to his club. This is Bias. Won't go. Rebound to Gary McLean.
Mike, he shot that ball long. It actually hit off the glass right from the top of the circle.
Had a little defensive pressure coming out on top of them. Villanova now with the basketball and a chance to take the lead.
Maryland stays in their man-to-man defense.
Wilbur inside to Pinckney. 3 men on him. Leans into the shot, scores, and draws the foul. It'll be on Lenny Bias.
Reminiscent of the game in January, they get the basketball exactly where they should get it, and that's to Ed Pinckney down low. Look at Maryland, nothing but white shirts surrounding him. No, thank you, I'm still going to take it up. And he did, and he got it. Watch it again, low shot. A good feed right there from the inside. Dwight Wilbur with the feed, Pinckney up with a shot, and the foul on Lenny Bias.
Pinckney with a chance for a 3-point play. He's a 73% shooter on the season. It's this one, and it is a 3-point play and a 3-point lead for Villanova. There's the timeout on the court with 14:41 to go first half. Our score, Villanova 7 and Maryland 4. Look at the Maryland huddle. The Terrapins down by 3 points, and Lefty Driesell in the gold jacket in his 25th season of major college coaching, trying to go to a regional final for the 5th time in his career. Did it twice at Davidson, twice at Maryland. 329 games in 16 years and more than 500 in his career. That's a great hallmark.
I say you can't coach this game of basketball. I'll tell you what, those numbers do not tell a lie. He does know how to coach it, and there's Raleigh Massimino on the other side.
Came in and replaced Jack Kraft at Villanova after some glory days. Adkins trying to penetrate a little bit, cut off. Into the ballgame, Harold Jensen, number 32 for Villanova.
Villanova with a little different look now on defense. They've gone to a straight-up man-to-man.
Branch to Bias, Pinckney on him. Knocked away, and then Bias gets his shot. Len Bias 0 for 3 from the floor, and the rebound goes to Villanova. He is Maryland's offense. He needs to get the points for the Terrapins to do well. And so far, Len Bias has not hit anything from the floor.
Presley, Pinckney, and when McLean is in there, really have done a good job of dominating that defensive glass and keeping Maryland away.
Dwayne McLean with a strange-looking shot, arches it. Pinckney with a good rebound.
And again, Villanova controlling the backboards right now. One of the things the coaches talked about before the game, they were talking about the control of the backboards, and right now Villanova getting much the better of it.
Well, Larry, as you know, Villanova, a good rebounding team all year long, and Maryland had troubles in that department. This is Presley with Len Bias on him, has to give it up to Jensen. His shot won't go, but Villanova battling for the rebound, and they'll save it. Here's Adkins trying to pick it up. Maryland on the break, 3-on-2. Adkins all the way. Jeff Adkins goes to the basket as well as anybody.
He does, and he only had one man back from Villanova, and that was Gary McLean. He really had no chance. It was a 3-on-1 break, and he chose to take it himself.
7-6, Villanova by 1 with 13:08 to go. background is because the North Carolina contingent has arrived, and the fans wearing light blue are up and cheering.
Now Gary McLean out there again, waving the offense, getting his half-court game set up. They'll try to go to Pinckney on the inside, or they'll try to take a one-on-one. Good steal by Branch.
Pinckney diving after it, and Branch picks it up. Good hustle by Ed Pinckney, but couldn't get to the ball. Here's Adkins again, quickly down court. Nice pass to Branch, and the shot blocked by Presley. And they've got him for the foul. From this angle, and it's not always the best one, as we know, it looked like a pretty good block by Harold Presley.
Take a look at it again right here. Jeff Adkins with the basketball. Good pass across court over Presley's head, but watch him recover. No, there's Presley right there. It was McLean. He threw it over.
Looked like he did get a part of the hand along with the ball, and that is number 1 on the 6'7" junior out of Mystic, Connecticut, and the 3rd team foul against Villanova. And Branch, a great free throw shooter, goes to the line.
You know, for all this young man's offensive skills, something that I find kind of interesting in their statistics is the fact that he leads this team in steals, which is, you know, when we sit and look at him and see him play so much, we're really more impressed with what he does offensively than defensively.
He's very reckless on defense. Branch, after missing the first free throw, got the second. We're tied at 7 with 12:35 to go first half.
Low-scoring affair so far.
Anybody's advantage to that, do you think?
No, not really. Not at this point. I think Maryland may be playing a little bit better defense right now, but Villanova really having the better of it on the glass.
Pinckney in the lane had it slapped away, and it looked like Adkins reaching in trying to help out on defense picked up the personal.
Watch it one more time. Again, they try to get the ball to their strength, and that's in the inside right there. Pinckney gets the basketball, makes the good turn. Adkins all over his arm.
3rd team foul against Maryland. That's number 1 on Adkins. Non-shooting foul, so Villanova will inbound.
And Maryland immediately goes to a 2-3 zone out of that out-of-bounds play, and they stay in it.
Gary McLean will back it out and reset. Pinckney now being fronted inside by that zone defense. They get it to Presley in the lane. And I think that'll be overruled. Basket interference, and it is. I think that shot would have gone, Larry.
It was close to going in. I think they should have left it alone. Presley down the middle of the zone. Watch him take it up right here, and watch Pinckney come back and try to shove it through. Close to going in. Real close to going in.
Now Maryland with a chance to regain the lead, tied at 7. And a little pressure from Villanova.
I believe Raleigh Massimino has sit down since they tipped it off. Somebody ought to tell him he gets a free seat over there.
Bias over Pinckney, and once again, I think Pinckney has done a terrific defensive job on Bias. That's the 2nd time he's altered his shot.
Good matchup on the inside. Again, when Bias gets it in there, you'll see a lot of Navy shirts around him on the inside. They like to really gang on the ball.
Pinckney, not only a fine offensive player, but an excellent defensive player. Massimino goes to his bench again. He gets number 31, Mark Plansky, into the ball again. This is Plansky, the freshman from Wakefield, Massachusetts, with his first 2.
That's what you like to have, somebody come off the bench and give you immediate offense.
Only averaging 3.6 points a game. Had arthroscopic surgery about a month ago on his left knee. Villanova now up by 2. Alley-oop to Branch, and Branch put it through. Gatlin is so good at that.
One of the best in the country. He got it up there. He averaged 6 assists per game, and he laid it right into the lap of Adrian Branch.
9-9 with 11:19 to go. That's 5 points for Adrian Branch. Wilbur to Plansky.
Maryland again in that man-to-man defense. Gatlin really sloughs off on the inside. Lets Wilbur go out there to see if he can help when the ball comes inside the Pinckney.
Dwayne McLean. Jensen tried to bank it up, won't go. The rebound inside to Derek Lewis. Lewis only 6'7", 195 pounds, but he manages to survive and even prosper in the middle.
He has 97 blocked shots this year. I'd say that's prospering well.
I would too. Bias. Adkins, good outside shooter. Won't get this one, and the rebound to Pinckney. Wilbur trying to push it up. Jensen missed everything but the follow shot by Dwayne McLean.
Villanova beating Maryland back that time down the lane. You see Raleigh Massimino right there. He's got to be happy with that break.
Second fast break basket for Villanova.
Villanova really jams that paint up inside with that zone defense. They match up pretty well, too. It's really more of a matchup zone than it is a 2-3 because they try to find somebody to guard in the zone once they fill that zone.
Lewis trying to penetrate, banks it up hard, and it won't go. The rebound to Plansky. Even when Pinckney really doesn't go after the ball, he seems to affect the trajectory of shots in there.
Well, they've got great leapers in there. Pinckney and McLean both get up.
Pinckney wants the basketball inside. He got away from Lewis momentarily, but they couldn't get it to him. Plansky looks inside, thinks better of it. This is Harold Jensen. Dwayne McLean won't go. Gatlin with a long rebound. Pretty cold shooting by both ball clubs through the first 10 minutes of the half.
And again, Maryland goes to their half-court zone offense. They'll try to get it to Branch down low or to Bias.
Branch looks inside, can't find anyone. Back to Gatlin, now Bias in the lane. Pinckney on him, and once again he changed that shot. Branch has the rebound, taken away inside by Plansky.
Great defensive job again by Pinckney. He got a hand up, and again, Lynn Bias having to alter the shot.
The kind of things that don't show up in the statistics.
It will on Bias's side, but it won't on Pinckney's side.
Villanova with another chance to tie. Down by 2 with 8:47 to go. Long jumper by Jensen. Plansky with an offensive rebound in the lane. Got it.
Mike, you want to make that play? That fake, that little fake that he gave at the beginning to get the Maryland players off balance. Plansky went right back and stuck it in, and again, Villanova leads by 4.
Villanova 13-9. Momentarily on the scoreboard up here, they had it reversed. Had Maryland on top, 11-9. Now it is 13-9 Villanova.
Watch the Villanova zone defense. They do such a great job of matching up. When somebody makes a cut through, they're always aware of it.
Branch with a double pump has his own rebound. Blocked by Pinckney, at least partially. Loose ball, and the Cats come out with it again.
So far, Villanova getting the better of it on the backboard, and I think that's to Maryland's detriment because it's really hurting their second, third, and fourth opportunities.
Easy Ed Pinckney doing a terrific job on defense inside. Plansky in and out. Lewis with a rebound for Maryland to Gatlin. Branch blows by Jensen, and in the basket's good, and we get a blocking foul as Pinckney came over trying to draw the charge, and he and Branch paid the price, and Adrian Branch went down very hard.
Great move by Adrian Branch down the lane right there. Watch him make it right down the sideline. Watch Pinckney get there. Oh, it looks like he almost caught him with the knee in the chin. He was up so high.
Sure did.
Watch it again. Here it is from the backside. Branch going down. Good call. Pinckney was moving as he was getting in position to try to draw the charge. Branch still on the floor. Now he's up.
And Adrian Branch seems to be all right after a fine basket that gives him 7. And cuts the lead of Villanova to 2 points. And Branch will go back to the line and a chance for a 3-point play. Terry Long checks into the ballgame, number 32 from Maryland, as well as number 41, Tom Speedy Jones. And there is lefty Drizel.
Branch was holding his back right there as if he may have come down on the backside of it. It was a great move going down the sideline right there. And I tell you, he's had a good first half. He's played about as well as we've seen him play this year.
Sure has, and he's always been a great one-on-one player. And in the open court, he and Maryland are at their most dangerous. Branch, 3-point play, cuts the lead to 1 point, and it's Villanova by a point. There's a timeout on the court with 7:40 to go. First half, our score, Villanova 13 and Maryland 12. This telecast is presented by authority of the NCAA, and any use of the program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Transportation arrangements provided through Fugazi International Travel, the official travel agency of the 1985 NCAA basketball tournament. Villanova dominating the board so far, Larry. They've been able to do that to most of the teams they've played this year.
They have, and look at this field goal percentage right here. Both clubs, well, 32% for Villanova and 28% for Maryland. Not very hot statistics.
There's been a couple of crooked ones in there. Another score to pass along to you. North Carolina State at the half, leading Alabama 28-27. You think Jim Valvano might be doing it again out west?
He loves that place out there.
Presley to Pinckney in the lane. Put it up with the right hand. Won't go. The rebound to Tom Jones of Maryland.
Seems to be a lid on both baskets, Mike.
Branch dishes to Tom Jones. Knocked away by Presley. Saved by Terry Long. Both of these teams are much better shooting clubs than they have shown in the first 13 minutes of this half.
Well, Villanova shot 51% for the year. As we see Gatlin go up, he got one. Maryland's been shooting 50%, so both clubs over 50% for the year, but finding it tough going here in the first half.
Gatlin, who has hit 52% most of the year, has his first two in this one. As you can see, the clock winding down under 7 minutes now, and Maryland with a 14-13 lead over Villanova.
And Maryland's gone to a 2-3 zone now. They've got away from their man-to-man defense.
Done a pretty decent job inside on Pinckney. Dwayne McClain, little baseline jumper, and he drilled it.
One of the most unusual shots you'll see any college basketball player shoot. He really it's kind of cocked off to the side when he lets it go.
Branch inside to Jones. Missed the shot. Rebound. Villanova. Nice job in the corner by Mark Kransky. Neither team getting a lot of second cracks at it. At least not good ones.
Maryland's going to change their defense again now. They go man-to-man, and immediately Villanova recognizes it and goes straight inside. Look at him. Look for Pinckney.
Terry Long trying to front him and knocks it away. Nice job by Long, and this is Branch on the run. Nice pass to Gatlin. That little set shot. Gatlin has hit his last two, and Maryland has regained the lead on Villanova with 5:42 to go first half.
Gary McClain raises his fist now. They've got a set play they're going to run. Let's see what comes up.
Presley to McClain to Gary McClain. Pinckney outside. Dwayne McClain's jumper, a little short this time. Look how high Bias got up. Ahead to Branch. Now that was a clinic.
That's the way you do it. You get your big guy inside. Lenny Bias, he went up and grabbed it. Baseball pass to the other end, and Adrian Branch with the stuff.
And it's 10 for Adrian Branch, and Maryland leads 18-15. Presley double team. Side to Pinckney, lost it, out of bounds.
Turnovers are killing Villanova. They're giving it back to Maryland too often. And yet, well, with Maryland up by 3, I was going to say, even though they're close, right now Villanova could be much better off if they could cut down on those turnovers.
Branch will get a breather. Atkins comes back in. Let's take a look.
Great pass to Branch right there. They got the stuff. That's the easy one. Those are the ones you love to get. Nobody around.
So Adrian Branch with 10 points gets his first breather. Jones at the high post, 15-footer short. Pinckney with another loose ball rebound to Gary McClain, and he'll slow it down.
Yeah, McClain's really an intelligent player. He looked up and saw too many white shirts back, and he said, no. He just shook his head. We're going to pull it out and set up our half court.
Takes a rare shot from outside. The rebound goes to Long, ahead to Gatlin. Gatlin's great pass to Atkins. Kept alive. I know Maryland people wanted a goaltending call in there on that one. What a pass by Gatlin, even if they didn't get the basket.
Atkins was in a bad position to receive it and still was able to get off a decent shot. Lefty Drizel wanted goaltending very badly on the Atkins shot.
Running Pinckney on the baseline, trying to get him free. Presley. There's Bias. Way short on the jumper. Long ahead to Bias. 2-on-2. Atkins. And to change the shot, whistle, and we get a blocking foul. No, offensive foul against Jeff Atkins.
Great position by Gary McClain. Watch him right here. Top part of your screen. Jeff Atkins with a real strong move to the inside. Got his leg there, got in good position, and drew the charge.
Chuck Everson will check in for Villanova when he has the opportunity. Right now with 3:51 to go, there is a timeout on the court. It's Maryland 18 and Villanova 15. 17,000 fans here tonight in Birmingham to watch Maryland and Villanova in Game 1 of the Southeast Regional. 3:51 to go first half. Maryland on top, 18-15.
It's been very poor shooting on the part of both teams here in the first half. And the fact that Villanova's controlling the backboards, had it not been for Adrian Branch, I think the Terrapins have been in a lot of trouble.
And there's the turnover situation. A lot of those came right in a row, Larry.
They really did. And Villanova, obviously, with 6 turnovers and controlling the backboard, kind of one offsets the other.
This is Chuck Everson, a 7'1" junior from Brentwood, New York, into the ball game for the first time. Everson usually plays at about this spot. And he's in there for Ed Pinckney, so Pinckney will not pick up his 3rd personal foul. And here's some defensive pressure from Maryland.
And again, Gary McLean sets up the offensive move.
Try the alley-oop inside, and Maryland will be called for the foul, trying to stop the alley-oop, and it looked like Tom Jones will pick up the personal.
Jones commits the foul right here. You'll watch the alley-oop attempt right here. As the ball goes up in the air, you'll see Jones come right there into your screen. There's the foul against McLean.
Dwayne McLean with good position underneath. Gary McLean will inbound. Out to Presley. Villanova down by 3.
And again, Maryland goes to that 2-3 zone. Any out-of-bounds play, the Terrapins go right back in. They stay right into the zone defense and don't change, don't come out of it.
Gary McLean. Plansky now gives it back to McLean. And Dwayne McLean, his jumper in and out. Another rebound for Terry Long, who's done a good job off the Maryland bench.
Boy, Villanova had some hard luck on their shots.
Sure have. This is Branch back in the ball game. Double clutch won't go. Bad shot that time by Branch. And it goes to a foul against Maryland, trying to follow.
Watch it again. Branch, a little double pump right there. Good defense again by Villanova. Tough to penetrate that zone defense when they've got it packed in like that. Try to get the ball up, and there's the foul committed. They go the other way, and the Wildcats now attempting to try to get one of their shots to go in.
Number 1 on Terry Long, the 6th team foul against Maryland. Villanova has committed 5 here in the first half. Plansky wants the ball and gets it right of the zone. Pretty good outside shooter. Presley guarded now by Bias as Maryland may be running a little gimmick defense. No, they switched out to a man-to-man, I believe, Larry.
They are in a man-to-man right now.
Presley, off-balance jumper, won't go. This rebound to Tom Jones. Gatlin ahead to Bias. That just shouldn't happen, should it?
First basket right there.
It's a way to break the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Maryland on top now, 20-15, exactly 2 minutes to go in the half. Here's Branch with the steal. And a behind-the-back pass would have been spectacular if Gatlin could have found a way to get to it. Under 2 minutes, as you see in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. This is Plansky to Gary McLean. Maryland's biggest lead right now at 5, 20-15.
If you're Lefty Driesell, you got to know that Len Bias is not going to be held to 2 points in the second. Just
Gary McLean, big bucket there for Villanova. We're down to 1.5 minutes, and the Cats are back within 3.
Well, that broke a big drought for them, Mike. They went several minutes without a basket.
See what Maryland will do with the last 124, up by 3.
Again, Villanova back into that zone defense. More of a matchup than it is any significant number, a 1-2-2 or a 2-3. They match up pretty much out of the zone, whatever Maryland player occupies that area.
Maryland doesn't look too terribly interested in taking a shot right now. They might get down for the last one unless they can get the chip shot inside.
Well, they've got a minute to play right now, and they may decide to just run the clock.
Gatlin back out to Branch.
Yeah, Lefty's got one finger up. He says, hold it for one shot.
50 seconds to go in the half.
A little surprised at the score, 20-17 in the first half. Obviously, neither club expected to come out and shoot as poorly as they did because they've been averaging right now. Maryland 71 points a game and Villanova at 70. Not the type of game, not characteristic of the way they play.
That's right. Of course, being in the NCAA tournament makes those rims a little tighter, too, doesn't it?
Makes that arm and wrist a little bit tighter, too.
That's right. 22 seconds left to go. Look for the Terps to start our offense around 10 or 12 seconds on the clock.
Here goes Gatlin.
Little surprise. Gatlin took a shot in a hurry. Jones gets it back to Gatlin. Off-balance jumper. They'll call him for the travel. Gatlin wanted the foul, but there's still 9 seconds left. Maryland really gave Villanova another opportunity, and you see Lefty Drill saying, look at the clock, guys.
I thought Gatlin may have looked up and thought that there was less time than it was actually on the clock. There they go.
Presley. Presley gets caught up with it. Gary McLean will have to take the last shot. Gets it to Presley. Presley threw in a prayer on a collision with Len Bias at the buzzer. Holy cow, what a way to finish it up. into the first half with the score, Maryland 20 and Villanova 19. We'll be back after these messages and a local station break. This is an NCAA Productions halftime score. Maryland leading Villanova by 1, 20-19. And Larry Conley, so far, it has been a story of the two singular offensive stars not doing a big job. Halftime in Birmingham, Maryland over Villanova, 20-19. And Larry, when you take a look at the shooting statistics for Len Bias and Ed Pinckney, just those two individuals, you can see how much it turns around.
Well, you see right here as you look on your screen, both teams shooting 32%, which is so poor for both of them. They've been averaging 50% or a little better than that all year long. Not a whole lot of free throws shot in the first half. And rebounding edge again to Villanova. Maryland staying in the hunt because they've only got 2 turnovers.
When you look at those individual statistics, Pinckney only gets 3 shots in the first half. Len Bias only hits 1 of 6. And these guys had career scoring games the first time they met earlier this year.
Len Bias, obviously, as you look at the scoring right here at Villanova, McLean has 6, Plansky has 4, Pinckney 3, McLean, Wilbur, and Presley 2 each. When do you ever remember McLean, Wilbur, and Presley combining for 6 points in the first half? Branch doing it all right now for Maryland with 10 points. Gatlin and Adkins with 4 apiece. And look at Len Bias with only 2 points. ACC's leading scorer. 2 guys, one made all Big East and the other one made all Big ACC. And when Len Bias is second team All-American.
I think if you went to either coach, either Lefty or Rowley, and said your star is only going to have a couple of points at halftime, he'd have winced and said we'd be down by 10. Maryland with the basketball as we start the second half.
And again, immediately Villanova goes to that 2-3 zone makeup.
This is Tom Jones, junior college transfer to Branch, now back to Gatlin. One other score to pass along to you in the West Regional 14-minute mark. North Carolina State over Alabama, 35-34. Gatlin to Bias. Tough shot, and it won't go. And here's Wilbur to McLean. Ahead to Dwayne McLean. Gatlin back. And Gatlin stripped him of the ball and saved 2 points.
McLean got it back right there, too. He almost lost it to Gatlin, who was heading the other way with it. McLean made a good recovery.
Rolly Massimino up on his feet, hands behind his head. This is Presley in the lane. Jump hook has its own rebound. And Harold Presley did the job inside to give Villanova a 1-point lead.
Good follow by Presley. Good offensive rebound and a stick back and to push the Wildcats up with a 1-point lead over the Terrapins. Villanova doing a good job with that matchup zone defense.
Len Bias is now 1 of 7 for Maryland. Averaging 19.3 points a game. Branch has had the hot hand. Won't hit this, and Pinckney with a rebound. Maryland with a cold start to the second half. Wilbur to Presley.
Maryland stays in a man-to-man defense. Villanova again trying to look inside to Pinckney, who didn't touch the ball very much in the first half.
Presley trying to penetrate, has to go back to McLean. His jumper won't go. Rebound to Maryland. This is Branch trying to hang on to the basketball and brings it across the timeline. Branch plays a lot of guard at 6'7". Right now, he is at a guard spot for Maryland.
You know, it's the second half of the basketball game, and you'd think these two clubs really will have felt out each other by now. You know, they still seem to be somewhat tentative about what they want to do. I don't know if Maryland's perplexed by the zone defense, but Villanova's throwing up against them, but they really have not had a lot of good shots.
Branch at the baseline is cut off. Back to Speedy Jones. Across to Bias. Bias with another tough shot from the baseline. Won't go again. Len Bias with just an awful shooting night so far. Presley in the lane. Won't go. Tipped it up. Won't go. And the rebound went to Dwight Wilbur in among the trees. The 6'2 junior from Patterson, New Jersey, got the rebound and drew the foul.
Well, watch him head in among the redwoods right here. It's a miss by Presley on the backside. Presley tries again for a second follow-up as he did earlier, but he missed. Here's the rebound. Wilbur steals it, goes back up, and Jones with the foul.
Foul on Tom Jones, his second, first team foul against Maryland in the second half, and Dwight Wilbur, a 73% free throw shooter on the season, will go to the line. It's the first Villanova by 2 now with 17:15 to go.
Look at Len Bias, 1 for 8 so far in the basketball game.
And he is a 53% field goal shooter on the season. Second free throw is good by Dwight Wilbur, a 3-point lead for Villanova. And he is always the target of those defenses, Larry, and he can hit jump shots in anybody's face. Tonight, he has really been off. But they'll continue to try to get him the basketball. This is Gatlin who has a soft touch, as does Tom Jones. Gatlin, a set shot, won't go. Lewis with a rebound inside over Pinckney, and Pinckney took it away. Great job by Easy Ed Pinckney. Easy Ed nickname's a little deceptive, too. He isn't all that easy.
Yeah, you're starting to get a feeling that maybe Villanova's getting a little bit of momentum in this basketball game. They've hit a couple of crucial shots. They've had good follows on 2 successive shots. A little bit of movement going toward Villanova right now.
They have the only 4 points in the second half.
Oh, what a move by Pinckney.
Holy cow, what a shot by Ed Pinckney. And it's 25-20. Pinckney only has 5, but that's the Villanova margin right now. Maryland is yet to score in the second half.
We played almost 4 minutes of basketball, and the Terrapins have yet to convert anything through the cords.
Bias, turnaround jumper, no, he's 1 for 9. Branch in the lane, lost it, got it back. Good hustle by Branch, and he hands it off to Gatlin. I don't know that Len Bias has ever been 1 for 9.
It really appears that Maryland's having a tough time trying to decide what to do offensively against Villanova's zone defense.
Speaking of offensive, it's an offensive foul on Tom Jones as he banged into Gary McLean. That will be number 3 on Tom Jones. Second team foul against Maryland in the second half. Don't expect Rolly Massimino to smile yet. There's 15:46 to go in the ball game. Timeout on the court with the score. Villanova 25, Maryland 20.
Villanova has a 5-point lead, and here's one of the reasons right here. Watch Wilbur's pass inside to Pinckney, and watch this great offensive move. About a 270-degree turn, a double pump, and he still got it to go in. Mike, great offensive move.
5 points for Ed Pinckney, who averages 15.9 points a game. Only the 4th player in Villanova history ever to score 1,000 points and get 1,000 rebounds. First team All-Big East. Also number 1 in block shots career for Villanova. 2 out of 6 in this half. Maryland has a lid on it. The Terps have missed all 5 shots after leading 20-19 at the half. Right now they're down 25-20. And here comes a little defensive pressure as Adkins is back in the ball game for Branch at a guard, and Branch moves up front. Wilbur penetrating. Finger roll won't go. Pinckney blocked. And the foul inside is on, I believe, Tom Jones.
Might be Lewis. I think maybe Lewis.
No, it's Lewis. That's right.
You'll see it. Here's a good shot right down on the bottom of the baseline on the other end. Watch Wilbur with a move. Good slicing move to the baseline. Pinckney goes straight up. Jones got a lot of arm that time. The official right on top of it. Pinckney goes to the line for 2 shots.
Pinckney hits his free throw. 2 out of 2 from the line for Ed Pinckney, and it's a 26-20 Villanova margin. In and out on the second one. Bias with a rebound. Maryland desperate to get on track. The Terps have gone 5 minutes and 37 seconds in the second half. They yet to have a basket. One of the reasons I think Jeff Adkins is back in there, the senior leadership.
You know, Mike, sometimes unfamiliar surroundings will cause you to do this, but that shouldn't be Maryland's reason, because they played Alabama in this facility in December and lost by 3.
Derek Lewis misses a turnaround jump shot. Wilbur gets the rebound for the Wildcats of Villanova. 15 minutes exactly to go in the game.
I got to correct, they didn't lose. They beat Alabama by 3 here in December, so they should know this facility pretty well.
Maryland, according to the NCAA stats, is there's a Pinckney, and he is clobbered underneath. Branch will pick up the personal foul. That will be number 1 on Adrian Branch. According to the NCAA statistics, Maryland played the toughest schedule in the country this year. Villanova, I believe, 7th. These guys have seen a lot of good ball clubs.
Well, they have, and right now Villanova getting the better of Maryland's defense. They're beginning to find some openings in there and getting the ball inside to Pinckney, and he's going to the line a little bit more often. You see him going to the free throw line. He shot a lot of free throws in the Big East this year.
May have been the reason that Derek Lewis just checked out of the ballgame and Terry Long came back in. Eric Pinckney's percentages on the season. It's this one.
Yeah, I find it interesting that this young man who's at the line right now shot more free throws than anybody else in the Big East this year. Now, that's obviously a sign of somebody who goes to the basket a lot and draws a lot of fouls, and he does do that.
Hits them both. Villanova is starting to lay it on Maryland a little bit. It's 28-20, and Ed Pinckney, 4 out of 5 from the line, really helped his ball club here in the second half.
Almost 5.5 minutes now, and still Maryland has not scored in the second half.
And here's the steal by Gary McLean. Bias trying to get it back, knocked out of bounds. It'll be out to Villanova. If you joined us late, Maryland led 20-19 at the end of the half. It's now 28-20. Villanova, they are on a 9-0 streak after getting the last basket of the first half.
Lefty Brazil doing something I think it's a very good idea. Push your defense down, full court pressure. Sometimes to get back in a basketball game, your defense is the one who will bring you back.
Dwayne McLean travel, yes. Little stutter step, and they caught him. 14-13 to go. In a streak like this, does the pressure start to build on a ball club? I know it has to on a coach. You've gone almost 6 minutes. You haven't scored.
Well, it really tightens up on the players, too, because they try to come down, and they're trying each trip down the floor to get a basket. They're just not having any success.
Bias wants the ball in the middle and has it. Might look for Adkins to take the jump shot. He'll take a big shot. This is Branch into the lane. Nice move by Branch, but it wouldn't fall for him. And here come the Wildcats. Branch with a great one-on-one move, but the hoop would not go. And we have an official's timeout. It looks like Gary McLean might have caught a hand in the face. Says he's all right. Senior from Hempstead, New York. Number 5 career assists. And Villanova will put the ball in play, leading 28-20 with 13:43 on a turning clock from Birmingham. Mike Patrick and Larry Conley. Brad, glad to have you with us tonight. You'll be especially pleased if you're a Villanova fan. Wilbur's jumper, no. Rebound to Presley.
Another bad shot, Mike. It went off the back of the glass from the top of the free throw lane.
It has not been picture perfect so far. Dwayne McLean, guarded by Branch, gets it to Pinckney, who got away from Long.
Well, Villanova running a good series of picks down underneath now to try to free somebody, and Maryland doing a good job defensively of keeping them away from the ball.
Villanova being very patient with no shot clock. This worked his way in to score.
And again, they found an opening in that Maryland defense, and they've gone to Pinckney repeatedly, Villanova has, and if they keep that up, they're going to continue to increase that lead.
Ed Pinckney has 10 and 20. Terry Long fouled inside by Presley as he went to the basket. Maryland does not have a field goal in the first 7 minutes and 10 seconds of this half.
And again, you see the basketball move inside right here. Good dish in there. Good turn. Lewis picks it up. Long does, and he gets fouled right there. McLean or Presley with a foul. Watch Long move into position to receive this pass right here, and a good move away from the defense. Presley all over his arm right there as Terry Long makes the move.
Number 2 on Presley, only the first team foul against Villanova here in the second half, and Terry Long will go to the free throw line. He's only a 58% shooter. Maryland yet to score in this half, and Terry Long hits the first one. And that gets them off the schneid and has to make them breathe a little bit easier.
And then Bias out there shouting encouragement to the rest of his teammates. Says, come on, guys, let's get on track and start playing.
30-21, now 30-22 as Terry Long hits a couple of free throws. The first Maryland points of the second half.
And again, Maryland opens up with a full court man-to-man pressure.
Maryland was down 11 points to Navy and came from behind to win.
Terry McLean, good move right there. Adkins went back to double team. He recognized it, moved it away. That's good senior leadership. He's probably been in that position a lot of times in the Big East and has evaded it.
Well, the 3 starting seniors on this club have played a lot of tournament basketball, and they want to take it as far as they can this year. time certainly not yet a factor. 12 minutes and 19 seconds to go. It's an 8-point Villanova lead. Wilbur picked up by Atkins. Back to Gary McLean. Villanova being exceptionally patient and very calm.
Well, they should be. They've got right now an 8-point lead and no shot clock in effect in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, I thought maybe that might have an effect on the number of the teams coming into the tournament, but obviously they've adjusted well.
Wayne McLean got free in the paint and scores it. 32-22. Villanova's lead matches their biggest again at 32-22.
And again, Villanova right back into that matchup zone. Branch almost in the trap, but he got it to Atkins.
Atkins misses. Bias with a follow shot inside, and Len Bias gets his first bucket of the second half, and he really needed that, Larry.
Well, it's something. Look, he and Presley are really getting after each other out there. Presley's really the best defensive player Villanova has, and they're smart to put him anywhere Bias is. When they get into that matchup zone defense, you can just about bet that Presley's somewhere around Bias.
Of course, Ed Pinckney was the guy who did such a great job on most of Bias' shots in the first half. This ball knocked away. Gatlin comes down with it. Maryland really with a 5-on-1. Gets it off the long. Here's a whistle. Let's see what it is.
Looks like a charging foul on Keith Gatlin on a 5-on-1 break.
No, they're not going to. They're going to call it a block. I thought you were exactly right.
One official did give it the charge right there. They must have overruled him right there. Watch Gatlin with a move right here. Nothing but white shirts and one blue shirt back, along with a move on the baseline.
Dwight Wilbur picks up the personal foul. No, they're going to give it now to Presley. Dwight Wilbur was the only one back, and that's where the contact was. Here's a whistle foul. I believe it's going to be on Len Bias as he and Presley were going after each other. Let's see.
That one is starting to develop between those two guys. They've been going at each other now for a couple of minutes.
They call it on Bias, who has had a tough night tonight here in Birmingham. He's 2 out of 10, so Villanova gets the ball back. And Presley ahead of the pack. Bias trying to catch him, and Bias came in to commit the foul, and these two guys are probably not going to end up shaking hands when this one is over.
I tell you what, Presley had a blowout right there. He was going to take it up, and Bias was not going to let him make it. Watch the run out here by Presley. Nowhere around is Bias, but he catches him right here and really hammers him from the back.
Presley went down into the photographers, and now Adrian Branch over trying to make peace. It was a 2-shot foul as well it should be. So Presley will go to the free throw line after Bias commits his 3rd personal foul. Let's take one more look. This was a dangerous foul too, Larry.
It really is. Harold Presley with a good run out right there. Got him from the backside. Bias did. The official right away raised his 2 fingers and said 2 shots. Obviously on the foul, but he could have called an intentional right there too.
He sure could have. And I think it's one of the things Rollie Massimino talking to the officials about. Len Bias made no bones about it. Presley was not going to get that layup if he could help it. Lefty Driesell going to send Jeff Baxter into the ball game when he has the chance, which is right now. Baxter, 6'1" junior guard, and Gatlin will come out for a breather. And Mark Plansky, number 31, coming back in for the Wildcats. And now Presley is on the bench, and they will send Gary McLean to shoot the free throws. This usually works out well. Gary McLean, an 82% free throw shooter.
Presley was a 65% free throw shooter.
And I would look for Harold Presley to get well as soon as his 2nd free throw shot.
His recuperative powers will be amazing right after this.
McLean at the line. It's 33-24. Villanova back to a 9-point lead.
Well, Gary McLean's done a good job in this basketball game. Hasn't turned the ball over. Missed one right there. It's a rare miss for him.
2 Maryland players almost lost it out of bounds. Atkins saves it, gets it to Baxter. Baxter's played a lot more down the stretch for Maryland and contributed well. Atkins looking for Branch. Bias wants the ball inside. Branch, up shot, baseline, and got it. Adrian Branch, who had a big first half, hands a big shot here. The lead is cut to 7 at 33-26. 10:36 left to go in the game. Dwayne McClain bringing the ball up.
Watch him handle that basketball. That's a good big guard right there for the NBA, and Branch was guarding him man-to-man coming up the court.
Harold Jensen gets it off to Plansky. The defensive pressure getting a little more intense, but the court is being spread a little bit more too, Larry.
Yeah, you see Gary McLean really spreading it out. They'll look inside. Good backdoor to Dwayne McClain. Got it.
And Dwayne McClain got swiped across the mouth as he went in that time. Villanova's lead back to 9 points, 35-26. We've hit the 10-minute mark. Branch had the ball knocked away, and they're going to call the foul. And they're looking at Pinckney, and Pinckney says, "Who, me? I wasn't even guarding him." And he was right. He wasn't guarding him. Dwayne McClain was.
McClain is the one who commits the foul against Branch right here, but they're going to call it, I think, on Pinckney.
Oh,
it was McClain who committed the foul.
Easy Ed Pinckney will pick up his 3rd personal foul, and he was barely in the neighborhood. With 9:56 to go in the ballgame, there's a timeout on the court with the score. Villanova 35 and Maryland 26. You're looking at Jake Nevin, the trainer for the Wildcats of Villanova. 56 years on the job. You have to wonder how many ankles that is. And you have to feel so warm and comfortable when you see him.
Well, you really do. You know, you stay around an athletic program for so long, and there he is. He's a grand old man, I will tell you that.
9:56 left to go in the ball game. He's got to be a little happy right now with his Wildcats of Villanova on top 35-26.
Well, the field goal shooting is horrendous for Maryland right now. Villanova's at 42%. That looks good in this basketball game right now.
Maryland 20% in this half. That's not much worse than what they shot in the first half.
Well, the first half they only shot 32%.
This is Baxter working with the ball for Maryland. The Terps down by 9. They need points, but they're not going to come in them all once. Branch fouled by Dwayne McClain as he went to the baseline.
Good move by Adrian Branch to the baseline. He got McClain hung up and couldn't get around, and McClain just reached out and grabbed him and pushed him as he went in there.
It's only the 3rd team foul against Villanova. Maryland has already committed 7 here in the second. It's number 2 on Dwayne McClain. Ed Pinckney, the only player out there for Villanova with 3. Bias, nice pass to Baxter, but he couldn't get a shot and brings it back out.
You know, Bias should have gone ahead and taken that shot because Baxter's not going to take that shot in there, and he needed to go ahead and put it up.
Baxter trying to run the offense. Lefty Drizel up on his feet, calling out the plays for his club. Bias will take it this time and hit it.
Maybe he's getting his touch, Mike. He's maybe getting it back now. Good defense by Maryland.
Bias has 6. Here's the pass ahead to Pinckney. Presley cut it off, and in doing so enabled Terry Long to pick it off. 7-point lead in Maryland, trying to cut into it again. Branch. Tough shot. Got the rebound and put it in. Branch got a little break there.
He looked like he was on a pogo stick going across that lane.
Playing by himself almost. Branch is now in with 14, and the Maryland Big Guns have started to do something with it. 35-30. Terrapins back within 5. 8 minutes, 38 seconds left.
It's amazing Maryland's been able to stay as close as they have, just shooting 20% in the second half before those 2 plays.
Pinckney double-teamed the lane and got it over Branch. Tough shot by Pinckney and extends the lead back to 7. It's a dozen for Easy Ed in the middle. Baxter with a jumper from outside. Good shot by Jefferson.
Now it's starting to heat up. Both clubs starting to shoot the ball much better.
Pinckney being pressed by Terry Long, and he turned it over. I don't think Rolly Massimino wanted to see his center handling the ball in the backcourt.
No, he didn't. You'll see him turn the ball over. That's Wilbur right there in your screen. Here's Pinckney with a basketball, double dribble. It goes back to Maryland, and I think Raleigh's going to take a timeout.
8 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the ball game from Birmingham. Timeout on the court to score. Villanova 37 and Maryland 32. 37-32. Villanova on top of Maryland with 8:07 to go, and Maryland trying to make it a ball game. And the Terps in that last streak, at least, shot the ball pretty well. Bias had a couple of nice shots. Adrian Branch, a good follow. Jeff Baxter knocked one in, and that's something they certainly need after some horrendous shooting.
It really has been bad. And they're down 5 right now, and they can get it to 3, and there's a lot of time left in this basketball game, 8 minutes and 7 seconds. It would not surprise me to see Villanova be even more patient with the basketball and they get it back.
Adkins from the lane. Shot won't go. Tip follow won't go. Loose ball. Foul on Len Bias, and I think he knew it, even though he says something to the official. I think Bias knew he had gotten in there and committed a personal on the rebound, and that is number 4 on Len Bias. And they've been in the bonus for quite a while. Now, can Lefty Grizel take him out with 8 minutes to go, or does he just swallow hard once they stay in there?
I tell you what, I leave the guy in. At this point anyway in the basketball game, I'm going to leave him in.
North Carolina State has knocked off Alabama in the West Regional 56-53. No, 61-55. 6-point margin for Jim Valvano and the Wolfpack. Free throw by Dwayne McClain is good. Well, the West has been good to North Carolina State, hasn't it?
I'm telling you. 2 years ago when they came out of Albuquerque, went into Albuquerque to win the national championship, that's where they started. Remember all those tightrope games they had getting into that situation.
Come from behind and come from behind and come from behind. 2 free throws from McClain. The spread is back to 7 at 39-32. Bias, who's been hot lately, misses this one. Rebound to Harold Presley, who's back in. Each possession now becomes more and more important as you see the clock winding down towards 7.5 minutes. Len Bias 3 out of 12 right now. And 2 of those 3 baskets, Larry, have been, one was a slam, the other was a follow in the lane.
Maryland really has no chance but to go out and play their man-to-man defense. They try to play a zone right now, and I can guarantee you Villanova will play.
Presley walked, I believe. Yes, that's the call. Good head fake by Harold Presley, but got that one extra step.
Rollie Massimino looked at Presley and says, don't fake it the first time. Go ahead and take it on strong to the basket.
39-32. Villanova on top by 7. 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go. This is Jeff Baxter from Maryland. Adrian Branch will be called for an offensive foul in the middle of a Villanova double team.
Wildcats had him surrounded right there. Branch took the basketball, tried to force the situation. Wilbur with good position right there. Branch tried to get the shot off. Wilbur went right on his backside, and they called him for a charge.
Here's the full court pressure. Baxter trying to press. Adkins coming over on the double team. Dwight Wilbur will handle the ball for Villanova and beat the pressure. Wildcats by 7.
Again, Maryland back to that man-to-man defense. Look at Pinckney want the ball.
Jumper by Ed Pinckney. He buries it, and it's 41-32 Villanova. Pinckney in one-on-one is pretty tough to handle.
Particularly at that position. When he spreads out like that, you get him the basketball low, posted up, he's as good as anybody in the nation.
Baxter to the baseline. Nice shot by Jeff Baxter. Lays it in. 41-34. It's cut back to 7 with 6:26 left. This is Lewis back into the ballgame. Terry Long will go out for Maryland. Cheer you hear in the background is the North Carolina State-Alabama score being announced to the crowd here in Birmingham, and a lot of the ACC partisans down here cheering for it. Pinckney inbounds to Gary McClain.
Good move by McClain to get the ball over to Wilbur and avoid the double team. Good job by these 2 guards out here. Wilbur and McClain have done a nice job of handling the Maryland defense, particularly when it's full court pressure.
Shown a lot of cool tonight, haven't they? McClain looking inside, guarded by Baxter. Presley working baseline. His jump hook short. His own follow. Harold Presley. He may have been the only one down there who knew that first shot was that far off. Just walked in and got the rebound.
You know, he's done that several times tonight. He'll miss that first shot and is always there for his second.
Almost like a pass to himself. Branch downtown. Adrian Branch, one of the great street shooters you'll ever see. 43-36. It's back to 7, but Maryland in a long time has not been able to cut it any closer than that.
And Again, they give the ball to Wilbur. It's either Wilbur or McLean that handled the basketball. Now McLean brought it up.
Baxter, as quick as he is, unable to do anything with it. Wilbur all the way down the lane against Atkins. Pass, threw it away. Turnovers right now would be the biggest enemy of Villanova.
Yeah, Raleigh Massimino really wants to set up and run a very patient offense out there. Try to get a layup if he can. It was a good move down the middle. The pass just went awry. It was thrown up in the press section.
Teams very similar in a lot of respects this year, and in one that a lot of people probably don't know about. Each head coach has a son on the ball club. R.C. Massimino for Villanova, Chuck Brazell from Maryland.
Right now, if you're Villanova, the only guy you got to really concentrate on is Branch. He's the guy that's really been hitting well from the outside. None of the other Maryland players have really contributed much offensively from the outside.
Particularly Len Bias, who's only 3 out of 12. Branch, good defense, couldn't handle it there. 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the game. Villanova 43, Maryland 36. Branch is double teamed by the zone. There he goes, gets this jump. Bias tried to keep it alive, but Villanova comes out with it. Presley's done a nice job. I was going to say the same thing.
Off the board. Yeah, he really has both the defensive glass and the offensive end also.
Presley, the second leading rebounder on the ball club, second only to Pinckney. There's Presley, baseline drive again. What a block by Lewis. Now you can see why Lewis has blocked so many shots this year. That's the kind of play that can really fire up this Maryland ball club. They love to see individual effort. It's 43-38. The lead cut to 5. Pinckney in backcourt again. Lewis knocks it away. Look out for the 10-second count. Will they beat it? Adkins with a steal. Lost it to Pinckney. Oh, what a tough break for Maryland, and the Terps bench up. They wanted a traveling call there.
Well, they had every opportunity. There were about 3 stops along the way that Pinckney had where they could have gotten the basketball away from him and were unable to do it.
3:43 left to go in the game. It's Villanova by 5 over Maryland. Pretty soon the Terps may have to go for the foul.
They got a little time yet, 3.5 minutes to go. They may want to put a little bit more pressure on Villanova. See if they can't get another turnover. Obviously, the Wildcats are not going to put anything toward the basket right now.
Another reason a lot of people like to see the shot clock in the tournament as well as the regular season. Down to 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Villanova by 5. Rolly Massimino and his coaching staff up directing traffic. Wilbur and McLean are very good at this.
They handle it well. You know, one of the things you got to do, Mike, is you got to work on this stall game right after the season, because you've got to use it, and you don't have to use it during the season. You don't have an opportunity. So now when they get out of the season, out of their tournaments, they've got to spend some time practicing on it, and obviously Villanova has.
Lewis commits the personal foul.
Yes, sir. Into the game for Villanova, number 32, Harold Jensen.
Harold Jensen back in the ball game, 6'5" sophomore. Missed most of the Maryland game when these teams played during the regular season. Had a broken bone in his left hand. Presley goes to the line. For the first time tonight, 65% shooter. And misses. Kept alive and gotten to Pinckney. Sometimes that long rebound could be your worst enemy.
I tell you what, it's going to hurt Maryland, because they could have gotten that ball. They had a chance to get it to 3. Now Villanova retains position. They run some more clock.
And here is Branch going for the steal. It's out of bounds to Villanova. Presley may be the one they'll go after again if he touches it. And Ed Pinckney is out there. He looked at Dwayne McLean and said, if you don't come to the ball hard, and we didn't hear the rest. Toss it into the backcourt to McLean. Branch is on him, trying to go for the steal. Maryland with all the defensive pressure they can come up with. Jensen is also in the ball game because he is an 83% shooter. And he walked. That's the 3rd time in the second half. Presley has been called for a travel.
I'll tell you, the next time they come down the court, I go to Harold Presley for a foul. He missed his last free throw, and you always go back to a guy who missed his last free throw.
Especially if he's a 65% shooter on the season. But Len Bias can't foul him because Bias has 4. 2 minutes, 13 seconds to go. Maryland down by 5.
So now what you do the next time down is you make the adjustment and put somebody else on.
Branch, tough shot, baseline, he hit it. Maryland asked for a timeout to stop the clock. And this Maryland team finds a way. They have done it many, many times this year. 2:05 to go in the game. Timeout on the court. The score, Villanova 43 and Maryland 40. Adrian Branch going to the sideline. He has 18 points on 8 out of 17 from the floor. Larry may have hurt his hand.
Well, it looks like it. Watch him go into the huddle right here, and he turns and faces. He grabs his fingers right there as if he's got a grimace of pain right there, and he kind of turns to the trainer. Says, my fingers are hurting now. I don't know if he's going to come back. Yeah, he's back in the basketball game. It may be just something he has an injury of because he's already got him taped up anyway.
It looks like they may have taped it a little bit again. You wouldn't want to bet he won't avoid shooting, would you?
No, he'll put it up, believe me.
2:05 to go. Maryland with a sterling comeback right now. They have 2 timeouts left. Villanova with 3. The Terps have cut a big 11-point lead down to 3. Plenty of time to go. This is Jensen. And they double team him. If Presley touches the ball, look for Maryland to foul Harold Presley.
It's almost as if Jensen realized that because Presley was standing wide open, he wouldn't throw him the ball. Now
Presley has it, and he gets rid of it in a hurry as Branch came over and tried to whack him. Approaching the minute-and-a-half mark, a 3-point lead for Villanova. Pretty soon, Maryland will not be able to be as choosy, and they'll have to go after anyone that has the ball.
Gary McLean handling. Baxter all over him. Pretty good quickness there on the part of both players.
1 minute, 19 seconds to go. Villanova by 3. Pinckney guarded by Bias to Dwayne McLean.
Dangerous position down there. Well, that's a tough pass to throw it back out like that.
Jensen breaks for the hoop, and it's blocked by Derek Lewis. Oh, what a play. Lewis came out of nowhere.
Came across the lane and made a super block just as Jensen was making the move inside. Watch this from nowhere, top of the screen. Watch him come across. Jensen says, I got one now. No, sir, he does not.
A minute 3 to go. Presley is fouled by Lewis. Well, that was the guy they wanted to have the ball. A little surprise Villanova inbounded it to Presley.
That was a heads-up play by Lewis right there to go back to get Presley. Look at this angle that Jensen has right here. He thinks he's wide open, but across the lane comes Lewis with a great block right there and goes straight to the floor. Well, welcome to the line now is Harold Presley, who missed his first free throw here in the minutes earlier. Now he goes to the line for another one.
Adkins comes out of the ball game. Speedy Jones checks back in. Presley with 6 points tonight. Big free throws with 1:02 to go. Missed him a 1-and-1. And the second time, Pinckney got it back. That is twice. Presley has missed that shot so badly that the ball is kicked out far enough for Villanova to get it back.
And Pinckney went up and got it and was immediately fouled, and now he goes to the line to shoot free throws. You know, that's got to be playing on Presley's mind, though. He's missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s now, and he realizes if he gets back involved in the offense, they're going to come after him.
It's got to be on Maryland's mind, too. They want him to come a little closer to making him so the ball doesn't kick out so far. Pinckney hits the first. 44-40 with 59 seconds to go. Ed Pinckney, 5 out of 6 from the line tonight. A better percentage on the evening than his season, but he's always been a clutch player. It's this one, 5-point lead again. Maryland has got to hurry. Baxter to Branch, going to the baseline. He'd like to draw the foul as well. Gets the bucket. Maryland will call timeout again to stop the clock with 49 seconds to go. Timeout on the court with 49 seconds left. Our score is Villanova 45, Maryland 42. Clock to go. Villanova with a 3-point lead over Maryland, 45-42. The Wildcats will have the basketball, and Maryland setting up its full court press.
You got to go for the steal right away, Mike. If you don't get the steal, you immediately go to the foul.
Rolly Massimino in his 6th consecutive NCAA appearance. His counterpart, Lefty Drizel, up on his feet in front of the Maryland bench, has been here 5 of the last 6 years. Double team ahead to Presley. Baxter is trying to catch him and does, and he missed the shot. That's a great job by Baxter, who turned on the afterburner to catch him.
Watch Baxter, and you talk about afterburner. He's got a 2-step makeup right there, and he catches Presley right there. And who's the man going to the line? But this time it's a little different situation. He knows he's going to shoot that second shot this time, regardless of whether he makes it or misses it on the first one.
He has missed the front end of 2 straight 1-and-1s, has Harold Presley.
Is that a man who has a look of confidence?
Keep Gatlin back in the ball game. Baxter will come out and gets a nice hand from his teammates as he leaves. Did a good job while he was in there. Presley taking a little bit extra time with 44 seconds to go. Got the first one.
Boy, it really takes the pressure off of you when you know you got that second one coming.
7 points for Harold Presley, averages 12.4 ball game on the season. Second free throw. This is the big one. And he missed this one. Another long rebound, but Maryland gets it. 46-42. Gatlin to Branch. He'll try to penetrate. He is fouled by Jensen.
You're going to see a lot of fouls right now by Villanova because they've only got 3 team fouls. Raleigh Massimino doing a great coaching job. Right there has instructed his club. Go out and foul. Don't make the intentional foul. Don't make it obvious, but continue to foul until you reach that 6th one.
And the Maryland players have to be aware of that so they could try to get a shot off at the time they're being fouled. Branch, and they'll reach in and foul McLean, and another couple of ticks of the clock go off. 34 seconds left.
Not much left he can do in this situation. He's just got to sit back and wait till they reach that limit on fouls.
34 seconds left. Villanova by 4. The inbounds pass to Branch. Will they foul him intentionally? They let it go this time. He missed the shot. Branch with his own rebound. Follow in the lane, and he's fouled this time, and he'll get 2 shots out of it. Presley, a little show of sportsmanship, goes over and helps him up.
Well, they were making intelligent fouls up until this point.
Sure
they
were.
just made a bad one right here because they're going to give Branch a chance to get it to within 2, and there's no ticks of the clock going down. Watch it again
on Pinckney.
Watch it up top right here. It's a good move, good foul right there. Well, Pinckney committed the foul. It was not a good foul, but Branch got 2 good shots out of it.
Presley got a piece too. Oh, big shots for Adrian Branch, and he missed it. 28 seconds left. Branch could have pulled his club to within 2, and he misses the first of the 2 shots. He's only made 2 of 4 tonight. Second free throw is good. Cuts the lead to 3 with 28 seconds left. Boy, that was a big free throw.
And now Baxter back into the lineup. Gatlin on the bench. Baxter a little bit quicker to keep up with McLean.
That situation substitution. They get it to Jensen. Clock ticking down to 23. Maryland has the foul. And they do. Baxter commits the personal, and it will send Jensen to the line. Once again, he's an 83% shooter, and Coach Massimino sent him in there because of his free throw shooting stats. 20 seconds left, and really Maryland is down to this. They have no choice.
Have no choice. They've got to go after whoever has the ball.
So Jensen goes to the line, and Gatlin back in for Baxter. Last 3 or 4 years, we've seen coaches go with that situation substitution, just like football. Jensen's free throw, and he missed it. Maryland alive with 18 seconds to go. Gatlin pushes it up to Branch. He'll try to penetrate if he can. 12 seconds to go. Gatlin's long jumper, no good, and Pinckney has it. Over McLean. Jensen will bring it back outside. 2 seconds, 1 second, and Villanova has advanced to the final of the NCAA Southeast Regional. They win it 46-43. A very happy Raleigh Massimino. Well, the Maryland people can't leave here saying they did not have their opportunities, Larry.
No, they really did have it. They had the chances to see Raleigh Massimino walking off the floor right here. He's got to be a happy man. Avenges an earlier defeat also when they lost by 3 points in College Park. Now they're in the finals of the Southeastern Regional, and who would have believed it just a couple of weeks ago?
The final score once again, 46 Villanova to 43 for Maryland. We'll be back in Birmingham right after this.